Hello and welcome to the Nightmare Cabin Maidencast.
Back again, bitch.
Cool, that came out of nowhere. Yeah. Where every week we dissect an Iron Maiden album. We are going through the complete Iron Maiden back catalogue, including the solo albums and side projects of each respective member. So we actually got a bit of a run this time. This is the first time since Power Slave where we've actually done two Maiden albums in a row. We've been doing Adrian Smith's side project. We've done a couple of Paul Di'Anno albums. We did Tattooed Millionaire. But yeah, last week we did the All Filler and No Killer, No Prayer for the Dying. And and this week we are back 2 years later. So from 1990, we are now in 1992 with Fear of the Dark.
And yeah, there you go.
That's as good as this. And quite fittingly, I have got my my fuel to get me through this episode. A bottle of Black Death. That is Fear of the Dark.
I'm as usual being sponsored by Nestle Pure Life. Don't take any substitutes.
What's in that?
Indeed.
Because this has got minerals, vitamins, and it's a meal. It's a. Back in the day, mate, they used to give you Guinness in hospitals.
Yeah, fucking hell. Back in the dark ages, Jesus.
So, Fear of the Dark is a significant album for many reasons. Most notably, this really does mark the end of what is known as the classic era of Iron Maiden.
So significant for me because it's the first album I ever bought. First CD I ever bought. After my dad had passed, obviously he left me his legacy, like all his Maiden LPs, and I was right back into it by then. And this was the first one that on my brand new Sony Discman that my mum bought me. What do you want to get? You can get a CD. So straight to HMV, bosh. Saw that album cover. All over it, mate.
Yep. This is the the reason I say this is the end of the golden age is because obviously it's the last album with Bruce. The last album with Martin Birch, and basically it's the last in this series of remasters. That's really there was this massive cut-off, wasn't there? They put out about 5 live albums off the back of this. A Real Life Dead one, a real live one, a real dead one, Live at Donington, and then Raising Hell. Yeah, the video.
And they did re-release Made in England. They did it out as a CD and a DVD. So that was about what 90. I think that was 95 before X Factor came out.
Well, that would have been a DVD. That would have been a video, wouldn't it?
No, it's a DVD.
DVDs were out in 95. You'd have been fucking Laserdisc or something like that. 1995 would have been a Betamax.
Fucking Betamax.
My nan and granddad, God bless them.
That was a video. I remember it.
They had a Betamax player. My nan died. Oh Christ! About 4 years ago, and until they died, they had a Betamax player in their bedroom.
Fucking hell!
And they had The Godfather 1 and 2, and it worked just as well then as it did the day they bought it.
Well, they were fucking weren't they? Better quality, they reckon. They reckon the best thing lost the war. Yeah,
they do reckon it was a better format, but the market didn't take to it. It went the other way, went with video or something.
Same with HD, DVD, and Blu-ray. And we know what done both battles was porn.
I was going to say that because that's the sort of thing I would bring up, and there you go. Oh, Denby's at it again.
Yeah,
and straight-laced Luke.
But it's general knowledge, isn't it? You know, whatever porn decides.
Whatever the porn industry decides, that's the format that wins. Yeah. So, yeah. So, you know.
I mean, album of lasts. It was an album of firsts as well because we have the very first Eddie not done by Mr. Derek Riggs.
Have you seen, by the way, the artwork that Derek did put forward to him?
No, because obviously I know but Rod said they went out, they wanted to liven shaking things up a bit.
Yeah, and I think there was a reason for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it weren't very good. And that's so, you know, I love the guy, but yeah, I wouldn't. I think they need to submit one as well for Angel and the Gambler or Virus.
Possibly.
Somewhere
I
around
know.
that time, he did one for one of the singles, but they didn't use it.
But I suppose, you know, talking about it weren't good. I mean, I imagine Derek was like, you know, I've been doing this for fucking 12 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I suppose anyone who's doing the same thing for that long would be like, oh, mate, I'm done. Half-arsing it or whatever. So they, you know, that's only, you know, my opinion. Probably if Derek ever listens to this, so I do apologise if that weren't the truth. But
The only other person I can think of is Cannibal Corpse, Vincent Locke, I think his name is, comic book artist, and he's done all their album covers from all the way up. But
we've got to say that Melvin Grant smashed it out of the park because it's fucking amazing artwork.
Fun enough, the books I was reading, and I've been reading a couple, it seems to be a bit of a controversial issue. I didn't realise it until I read it, but yeah, a lot of people apparently don't like that. What the fuck is wrong with it? I don't know. Because that's not Eddie. He's not meant to be a demon tree thing. But he's not meant to be a fucking pharaoh either.
No, exactly.
Or he would have been dead after the fourth album because he went in a mental institution and
that was fucking lobotomized.
And then Bruce pulled his brain out on stage. So,
but you know, you can't please all the people all the time, can you? So people always. They're the precursor of trolls now on the internet, you know. Oh, don't fucking like it. Why? Oh, because I don't. Fuck off. You know, just stirring the shit for no reason other than to stir the shit.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fantastic bit of art. I think, obviously, it suits the title. I mean, even when they spin out, they went, "Well, Fear in the Dark." That's the title of that one.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing. If you're walking through the forest at night and you turn around, that is a fucking tree like that, isn't it? You know, we've all seen them. We've all shit ourselves and walked a bit faster.
Right, I'm just forwarding you the image now. I'm a total boomer when it comes to this OBS thing. I need to sit down and have a good tutorial with it because I would just share it on the screen now. But you can look it up if you Google Derek Riggs Fear of the Dark. It's you'll know why this one won. Put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if I can. Copy link address, and I'm going to send it to you. So, yeah, basically, carrying on where we left off. Really, it's recorded in the same studio.
Yeah, what I didn't realise though was it's more of a studio by this point because apparently it was like a mobile recording unit just in Harris's back garden.
Well, they've been using didn't the Rolling Stones have a mobile studio that they used to rent out to people or something like that?
But by this time around, Steve had made it more of a fucking building and all the rest of it, and Bruce was a bit more impressed because he said the last one it sounded like fucking shit, but this one sounded a bit better because it's actually, you know, it's in a studio, not a fucking, you know, not a trailer sort of thing. So, but what I didn't realise also, we were talking about last week. I think we were talking about how Martin Birch doesn't co-produce stuff. Apparently, Harris co-produced this. So that shows that Martin had one foot out the door already. He was like, you know what, I'm retiring.
Well, this was his last ever album as well, wasn't it?
So makes more sense. So, and obviously Steve co-produced the next two, but he put his feet in the water with this.
So basically, Steve, then you push that button there. Push that button there. Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, so you know, like you say, the last album with Martin Birch, so it's the last time we get a nickname. It was Juggler this time, or the Juggler for some reason. But end of an era, big time, as you said earlier.
Yeah, like I say, the box set, the Eddie box head, which was my prized possession for a while, and then I just realised how shit it really looks and just gave up on the idea. And you could even buy an empty one with no batteries in it, and even that was like £100.
Yeah.
But I settled for the first 10 years singles box set as well, which I felt so guilty when I bought it. I actually had it down the road, and I went and picked it up and did.
Oh, that's fucking.
You remember when I messaged you? I went, found.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I went, the only thing the bloke's selling is that a chest of drawers, a
That's it.
wardrobe, and a suit. I went, I think he might be getting divorced.
Yeah, you know, don't you? It's all gone out the window.
It was, I think it wasn't too bad actually. I think it was about 120 quid, but which is still pretty steep. But it was like, you're not finding one cheaper. I went, look,
No,
it's
that's
like,
it.
we'll go for eBay. There's not.
No,
you know.
it's a fucking rip-off, and they never, not like they even reissued it, is it? You know, and
No, and it worked out for what? That's about 10 per single, obviously, per CD. Again, and get them all individually on Amazon.
Yeah.
Good luck. So I was like, that's fucking. I've just got to do it. And yeah, I did. It's over there. You can see it.
And if you did that, you wouldn't have Listen with Nico, which
exactly. The it's worth it to listen to Nico alone. You got all the original artworks, the B-sides, and yeah, of course,
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah.
But yeah, so this is where everything cuts off, really, and you know that's what arguably as well the it's not true, but you know how it is. I guess this is the end of phase one.
Phase
the
four?
last of what's the classic Maiden tracks as well. The last of the old school, I suppose.
Yeah. I suppose you could argue that they've probably done the albums they've done since pretty more rounded. You could say that they've done their best albums since this. But
yeah, that's what I'm getting at. But you know what I mean when I say end of the classic era. It's
classic song. There ain't many songs that are drop dead classics. There's one or two here or there. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. But let's.
Well, what I'll say, I think I'll nail it here. Fear of the Dark is a mainstay in the set. It's a set they play every show. They played it ever since. Nothing from X Factor onwards, as far as I'm aware, anyway, has been a mainstay.
Nah,
songs have come and gone.
Drop it in here and there, yeah.
Yeah, but say Wicker Man, for example, that comes and goes, but it's not been consistent throughout every tour. Whilst Fear of the Dark has survived every tour.
Yeah, apparently one tour they didn't play it, which was the first early years.
Number of the Beast. Yeah, well, the first early years was only the first 4 albums, wasn't it?
Yes, I mean, so that's the one time they dropped it, but they actually fucking brought it back. I think they played it on Somewhere Back in Time. You know?
Probably, yeah.
No, they did, I think, because it was like, what the fuck is this doing here? But, it's... Obviously, we'll get there. We're 12 songs in front of ourselves at the minute, aren't we?
Oh, no, yeah, we're not reviewing the song yet, but... So, yeah, anything else in the background you want us to discuss, or shall we get into it?
No, I think we'll get into it.
What? Did you, by the way, listen to the podcast I sent you? Doesn't matter if you didn't.
No, I didn't know. I mean, one was pretty good. Yeah, no, I haven't got around it.
It's from 2014, but it's the Rock and Metal Combat podcast, and there's they have a special guest on it. Actually, there's 4 of them. One of them's actually British, but Ralph Vieira's got a great insight to it. I mean, he's in his 50s now, and if you watch his YouTube video as well, he sort of says he basically saw Iron Maiden in the record shop, turned it over and went, well, these look like priests, so they must be good. Took it home. I think he said as well, didn't realise they had a new singer until he got Number of Beast home. He was like, the fuck is this? Yeah, stuff like that. But it's good to listen to, and I recommend his channel as well. But just one thing on that show is that he says, I saw the No Prayer for the Dying tour, and the venue was half empty. And I think they say more or less the same about Fear of the Dark. I think they said they closed a section of the venue off, so everyone was like, I think when you go to a theatre, upstairs and downstairs sort of has that little split, don't they? And I think they kind of got everyone into the main bit and didn't have upstairs open and things like that. He went. So what he's saying is, now it's been written. It's not a secret that Maiden, around this time, they always kind of struggled in America. They did well for a British band, but they kind of did really well, but then were gone just as quick. So he says it's kind of like this narrative that everything was flying high with Bruce. Bruce quits, and all of a sudden it went downhill. He went,
So
no, it actually started a few albums before. The popularity was starting to wane. And I just thought that was worth noting because it's something.
Yeah, let's say everyone makes Blaze a scapegoat, but that's ain't right at all.
Yeah. So anyway, I think
it's starting the album off. I mean, fucking hell, what a way to start an album.
Yeah.
Bosh, absolutely. Fucking Nico McBrain drum fill into probably the fastest song they've ever done, one of the heaviest, and that Bruce's scream, fucking hell, mate, that's pure metal. I mean, if you look, you say to someone says to you, what's heavy metal? Play this fucking song. And absolutely. No fault that it's our introduction to Mr. Yannick Gers as a songwriter.
Yes, I've got.
Co-wrote with Brucey.
Yeah, little notebook here. Forgot about that. Yeah. Well, all I've got to say is, listening to this album has solidified what I think about No Prayer to Dying, because it's kind of like a carry-on of it. They are a bit of a 1-2 punch.
Oh, they are, yeah.
But this song alone just confirms what I was saying about Tail Gunner. It was like, yeah, it's not a bad song. It's just not an album opener. And this one, straight out the gate, a big fucking scream from Bruce. This is before the song's even opened, like properly started. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, this is what I was getting at. This is an album opener.
Yeah. And it's obviously carries on Maiden's newfound trajectory of singing about real shit as opposed to fantasy stuff, because this is obviously based about Wall Street, stock market crash and the recession of the 90s. You know, the album, the single artwork, obviously.
Little did you know.
Maxwell's throat, mate.
Yeah. Well, I think as well, I mean, and that's one thing, I know, I'm not going to, you know, I didn't completely shit on No Prayer to Die, and I just didn't like it as much as...
Yeah, no, you took your time to warm up to each, you know, I know where you come from on it.
And I do really like some of the songs on it, but the better songs on the album were highlighted really as the fillers. It was the album tracks were better than the singles, or but and that's one thing as well. He sort of says here, like, that really wasn't the album they should have been putting out, because at this point they were getting challenged, like the Throne was being challenged, Metallica was coming up, Megadeth. You know, the whole Thrash thing. Queen's right again with Operation Mindcrime, and even Bruce agrees with us on that one. So yeah, it was just like, it was a bit of a lame duck to put out at the time, especially when competition was rising. So, and I don't think it was an accident that on that tour, one of the openers was Testament. And the fact that they've opened the next album with a track like this, with Testament opening for them.
They toured with Anthrax in the UK, didn't they, in '90?
Yeah.
So, like you say, it's bound to have rubbed off on them. Yeah. You know, these young upstart bands who wouldn't be around if it weren't for Maiden playing this sort of fucking fast, thrashy music. So, yeah, of course it would.
And I think this is I think this is the closest we will get to Iron Maiden going thrash.
Oh, yeah.
I guess you could call this speed metal.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what speed metal is. I'm too young. But yeah, when did one become? I don't think. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I could see Testament covering this song and doing it with their eyes shut.
No one has covered it, have they? You know, when they always do this Maiden tribute. I mean, fucking hell! If you're a thrash band or a death band, which are normally the sort of bands they get into cover Maiden.
If you and me were still in a band, we would do this heavy, and it'd be fucking. Yeah.
But no, it's a fucking phenomenal tune. I mean, it got the number 3 in the charts as well. So it was a bit of a fuck you to, again, the BBC, because they had to mention it on Top of the Pops.
This has got number 1 in the charts. Is that right?
No, number 3 this got to.
What, the album charts or the single, sorry?
No, sorry. Be Quick or Be Dead got to number 3 in the single charts.
Yeah.
And Fear of the Dark went straight to number 1 in the album charts. It was the first number 1 album, obviously, since Seventh Son. And it was their 4th number 1 album. So they're still bothering people. You know, people are like, Maiden fucking shit, heavy metal shit. Well, hang about. Maiden are at number 1 in the album charts, and
it's not. Yeah, I think the seasons were just changing. Thrash was well and truly underway now. Grunge was just around the corner. Despite what people say, grunge didn't kill anything. It just replaced what was already dead. It was people just moved on. It was as simple as that. All the thrash bands were splitting up, and I think this new thing came along, and "Smells Like Teen Spirit." That was the song that just pierced the glass. It just went, and then that was it. The whole thing just shattered. But anyway, another conversation for another time. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic opener. I think this is a fantastic riff.
They need to play it more because
opening with a track written by Yannick as well, which I think is a good move.
Yeah, obviously whether he was contractually he couldn't. Oh no, because he came in after the album had been written. That was it. So yeah, that's why he didn't write nothing. But no, he's been in the band 2.5 years. His feet are under the table. He's writing with his best mate. You know, and as I said on No Prayer, the band are fucking firing. Yannick's giving Dave a kick up the arse.
4 songs he's on, yeah.
Yeah, but the playing wise, they're phenomenal. They've had a fire lit under him having that new member in, and now it's really coming to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, a great chorus, great melody during afterwards. You know, be quick. The
riffs all the way through it, mate, and solos is flying. Really, a down to earth Maiden video as well. They actually shot it at Docklands.
Yes, awesome video, I think as well. Really good video. I really like the video for From Here to Eternity as well. I really like the way that looks. We'll get to that in a minute.
I've only seen it about 3 times. Yeah, it's all the special effects.
It just looks like a heavy metal video. Do you know what I mean? It just has that. Yeah. You could have it on silent in a bar and you'd know what the song was, you know.
And side note, this song has given rise to the greatest fucking cat video on the internet ever. It starts off a cat video with a load of cats running around, fucking tearing down Christmas trees and running up curtains and all the rest of it. And just when it kicks in with a Dickinson scream, there's a cat being tried to be given some medication. And he fucking opens his mouth and leans back with his mouth open in time with the scream and then fucking falls off the chair. And that's when the video ends. And it is awesome. Whoever did it, props to you. You've won the internet. It's great.
Yeah, I think in terms of just random YouTube videos, it comes to editing and just genius timing in that is the Darth Vader with is it Flat Top from Snatch?
Oh, I ain't seen that one.
Have you not seen it? Oh, mate, I'll have to look up. Right, so you've seen Snatch? Yeah. Is it Brick Top, not Flat? Brick Top.
Yeah. I'm not a major fan of it. It's.
But you know the film.
Yes, yeah.
Right, it's Star Wars, and all of Darth Vader's dialogue is got Brick Top edited over, and how it fits with the script as well is just fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah, people that do these things, they got an ear, haven't they? You know, and they, fair play to them.
Even, do you remember the bit when they open the thing? Darth Vader's there. Han goes to shoot him, and he just hands Han and the gun. He just goes, "Give me the fucking shooter." It's stuff like that. It's just full of little tidbits as well, and brilliant. Yeah, I'll have to send you that. It's fucking. You'll watch it again and again. Anyway, Be Quick or Be Dead. Fantastic opener. It looks like Maiden are back on form and they got their fire back. But yeah, so we're out the gate with that, and then straight in we've got a sort of a mid-paced rocker From Here to Eternity.
Bit of a different one, bit of a happy one. Is it about Charlotte?
He's
mentioned. Well, Charlotte is mentioned. Is it our Charlotte? We don't know.
It's generally understood that this is the third of the Charlotte thing, and there's maybe about hooks in you.
Yeah.
I don't know about.
She finally gives it up and goes off with her man.
Well, I thought it was about she gets on the back of a motorbike, and this motorbike rider happens to be the devil. So he says, "I'll take you from here to eternity," and the bike crashes. They're killed, and then she's in hell.
Oh, right.
Bit like Bat Out of Hell.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's good. Another good song from Harris. It's a Harris special. Nice, catchy chorus. And
it's got that pub football chorus.
Oh, big time,
yes. A bit like Heaven Can Wait, or I like the opening bass line. I always like it when when Steve opens a song, much like the Claviant or, well, a bit like Heaven Can Wait as well. Just that.
He knows how to do it, doesn't he? He does it a couple of times, obviously, in the future that we'll cover. But he's got an ear for an intro.
Again, this just seems to me like a improved version of No Prayer for the Dying, because again, this isn't much different to Holy Smoke.
Yeah, they've got their groove on, haven't they?
I prefer it to Holy Smoke. That's all.
Yannick is bedded in now. They're really, as a fighter, they're really firing.
Sorry, I was just looking over there. My dog just went totally off on one in the kitchen. She's got the Hoover out. He's petrified of it. It's well funny. But yeah, I've got this massive dog. But yeah, you get like the smallest thing out, and he's like, and then just runs. So, I thought something was kicking off then, but no, it weren't. So anything else you want to talk about that song?
No, I mean it's just a great song. Like I say, completely brings the tone, not the tone, but brings you're on straight up on a high with straight
up. Yeah, you got a nice fast metal song to begin with, then a nice mid-paced rock song,
and then
with a bit of a feel-good chorus. So it's like, yeah, right, we're running now. It's a 1-2 punch. This is exactly what is needed, and this just has more energy this time round. I feel. Yeah, and
then track 3 brings us something unique.
Yeah.
Great to Shoot Strangers. Back to Maiden talking about real shit again. Obviously written about the Gulf War, or the first Gulf War as was sort of in 91.
Well, I think this is the start of something to come. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there's a lot of tracks after this where he talks about war as a thing, not just as a World War II, yes, come on sort of thing. But this is the start.
Reality of war. This is the thing. It's
yes.
And obviously we'll get into it, but the X Factor, your Fortunes of War and Blood on the World's Hand and
Aftermath as well.
Yeah, what's the one after the war? What does a soldier become? Is that Aftermath? Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. It kicks that thing off, and it's musically, it's fucking fantastic. And how I know it, I know it was good because, I mean, Maiden fans, we all know it's good. We all know Maiden, some of the finest musicians on the planet. We all know they can play the shit out of their instruments. But I always remember me and my first heavy metal friend, Andrew Hadley, I met him about the same time I got this album, and we were listening to it in his bedroom. Both of us had long hair. We were fucking sitting there rocking out and all the rest of it.
He's the coolest bloke in the fucking world, by the way. I've only met him once, but
sound as a pound, geezer, mate. I tell you.
If say the Angel of Death was actually unleashed, and then God went, I want you to go to Earth and I want you to kill Joe Denby. When I saw Andy, I'd be like, that's him. Fucking running. Because he looks like a fucking assassin. Because he wears his cool cowboy hat. He's got a cool fucking beard.
Fucking goatee, yeah. He does.
And it just looks like he looks like a hitman.
Yeah. He's not, ladies and gentlemen. He's the fucking nicest guy you ever meet.
Yeah.
But we're listening to this, rocking out, and he's old man who's also sound as a pound. He was like banging to his Pink Floyd and all the rest of it. Proper, not classic rock, but typical Pink Floyd, Stones, that sort of thing.
Of the time, and I remember
he walked past the bedroom. He didn't like metal at all, and he walked past the bedroom and he said, and it was playing the bit of music, that bit, that comes just over the chorus type thing. And he actually stopped. He stuck his head through the bedroom. He said, "Fucking hell, that's a tasty bit of guitaring, boys," and then fucked off. So you knew it was good because someone who hates metal commented on the playing. For me, you got a winner.
I've got a funny story actually of the same sort of thing, but a different outcome. I bought Dance of Death. I used to work in the Lloyd's building in London, and for those that don't know, you've got the Lloyd's building, and right behind it you've got Leadenhall Market, and there was a HMV in there. I got in to work that day. We normally had a break from 10 till 10:30. 10 o'clock, I went straight out when everyone else goes across the road to get a sandwich or a coffee. And you used to have Benji's all the time. Benji's back then used to get like a fucking sausage and egg torpedo for $1.99. I went round to HMV, got Dance of Death, took it down to the workshop. We had this big workshop. You had like a cage where all the electricians kept their gear. You had the carpenters that had the saws, the grinders, the welders, and there was that fucking thing, a lathe thing where you turn it round and there's all the little piggly bits where you help it. Anyway, so that was and there was just a regular CD player, you know, standard radio CD player, and I was playing Dance of Death. Just went totally off on one. Then I thought the album was called Game of Death. I was like, no, right. So I'm playing Dance of Death, and I remember back in the time I was working with the chiller engineer. I was his apprentice really, and we used to take these fan coil units out, bring them down, and then operate on them. Then we used to fit compressors and whatnot, and then patch them up and back up. So I'm working on the thing, and we're in the middle of the Dance of Death track. You know, that song. And John Russell, the electrician, just walks into he's talking to him and saying again. I remember he had his glasses on his head like that, pen behind his ear, had all these jobs rolled up under his thing, and he's sitting there talking as he's going to think, yeah, I know, no. He walked to the thing, and he just went, "What the fuck is that shit?"
One of the finest bits of music fucking ever recorded, and it's like, oh fucking hell.
Yeah, fucking brilliant. But it was in the middle of that fucking Celtic-y bit as well, and it was just like, but yeah, right.
Fucking people.
To, Afraid to Shoot Strangers. It's a song I never used to care for much, to be honest.
All right.
But I saw Iron Maiden, obviously, on the Maiden England's rehash tour.
Yeah.
Where they, the one they did not that long ago.
Yeah.
Where they sort of recreated the Seventh Son thing. And this song was played then. And I remember it was quite early in the set as well. It was about 4 songs in.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And all right, for a few strangers. And I was like, yeah, okay. By the end of the song, it was just, this song now makes sense. Yeah. Just seeing it it was a song I didn't particularly care for, but that night it just clicked into place, and I love the song now.
Yeah, I mean, because you're saying it wasn't that long ago, it was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I saw him, that's when they headlined Sonosphere with Metallica, and fucking hearing this song, you know, with a fucking fill full of people all doing the synchronized clap during that bit. It was awesome, mate.
Yeah,
but it's one of the few songs off the album that actually survived the tour, because obviously they brought it back, as you say, for that. But it was a staple in the Blaze Bayley years.
Yeah, I've got
it's a lower register, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see them doing it live with Blaze on the Visions of the Beast DVD as well.
Yeah, I saw them do it twice, mate. I was at both them Brixton gigs. They were proper.
Yeah.
But because it's got because it was sung lower, obviously they had to mine the back catalogue, didn't they, for stuff that suited Bailey's range. And obviously this stuck out, and it was great to hear it.
Yeah.
Because it's an underrated song, and like I say, it's a song about real shit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's about the Gulf War, wasn't it? And the But yeah, I just, that beautiful melody at the beginning, and just that again, Nico just
yeah, doesn't overplay, does he, Nico? He never gets credit for, because you know my stance on drummers. It's a good drummer, he knows when not to play.
Yeah. And
this is a prime example of that, because other drummers could have thought, right, nice mellow bit of music, I can be really busy here on the cymbals and all this shit. No, none of that. No fucking cymbals whatsoever. Just the standard kick drum and snare, and it's brilliant.
And just as well, the subtle keyboards on this as well. It just adds that extra layer. Yeah,
you almost miss them, but if they weren't there, you'd miss them more, because they just keep it in the background.
Yeah, and none of that as well. When you hear, right, this is about the Gulf War. Now you think Gulf War, you think sand, heat.
Yeah,
this is going to be a claustrophobic. You know, if you were going to say, well, what song without listening to the lyrics would you say was about the Gulf War? You'd probably say something like "Be Quick or Be Dead." But no, this reminds you of nighttime in the desert.
Yeah, when it's all it's quiet.
And the desert in the day and the desert at night are
totally, yeah, worlds apart.
It's two different worlds.
Yeah.
And this, you just imagine a couple of searchlights or a couple of spotlights that are like mobile.
Yeah.
They're up. But apart from that, it's pitch black and it's fucking cold.
Yeah.
And you could just think the desert can be it fucks with your head to the best of times because of the climate. It fucks with our heads. But you could just imagine what a haunting, dark place the desert could be.
Yeah.
And obviously,
especially if you're out there doing that job. Yeah.
And just that, obviously, that wonderful melody comes in. And it's just that touching of the keyboard just backs it up. And it just gives everything just this layer of ice. Yeah. It's just a real dark, haunting, but beautiful song.
No, it's one of Maiden's best, in my opinion.
Yeah. And definitely one for the underrated.
Yeah, big time. And they need to bust it out more. I'm not saying they've got to play it every set, but mind you, we ain't. Those days are fucking over, mate. We ain't got
happy to play anything at the moment.
But yes, and then next track, fucking smashes us up. One of Maiden's heaviest songs. It might not be one of the most memorable, but I've got a soft spot for it. Again, it's one of those rare tracks where Bruce swears. So, but it is monstrously heavy at times, this track. And then what I didn't realise until I was doing the research for this, this is another Dickinson Jers co-write. Yeah, what I didn't realise is the line, "Nobody cares until somebody famous dies." This is written around Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realise. Only when I was doing the research, I was like, fucking hell, how did I sleep on this? But they're right. Like Bruce said, it's all right when some unknown gay's dying of it, but no one gives a shit. But all of a sudden, this world famous guy dies of it. And it's like, oh shit, whoa, fuck, and it just shows the hypocrisy of people, really.
I mean, no one gave a shit about the Yorkshire Ripper till he killed a rich girl when he was killing prostitutes. No one, yeah.
But it's like I say, song.
Not that she, not that every differentiate, but if he'd stuck to prostitutes, God knows how long he would have got away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just read an interesting book about Jack the Ripper as well that sort of says about that. But yeah, well, I'll digress. I won't go into that.
That's a fucking conspiracy theory for another time, that one. But this song travels along quite nice. It's a bit over long at 5.5 minutes, and about 3.5 minutes in, whoever is responsible for it makes a misguided thing of trying to double the time of the song and do the lyrics twice the speed, and it sort of falls flat. If they'd have left that bit out, it would have been, a right moody, mid-paced, heavy song.
But yeah, I think it
don't quite work.
You've touched it quite. It is quite a moody song, and it's got like a sort of bluesy rock feel to it as well. So it's a bit odd for an Iron Maiden song.
Yeah, and it starts off with a drum intro, but not a major one. Just a nice, simple little feel. Just
and just that sort of strumming. It's that jigga-ding underneath it. And then that it's just a cool chorus, isn't it? And it feels like and
it's a rare thing as well. It's actually a riff underneath, not a melody or clean chords.
Who wrote this one?
Dickinson and Jers.
Oh, this is another one.
Proved to be a good partnership. That, like I say, that misguided double time bit aside, this is another solid entry for them. Worst song out of the 4 so far, but the bar's been set so high.
Yeah, but even the poorest songs on this I still quite like, and like I said, this is everything that No Prayer wasn't. But it's kind of like No Prayer was the base for this, and which they built on, and it was just. A new improved version. It's kind of like, well, I was saying, there's a good album in here somewhere, but it's just a bit lukewarm. In fact, I'll bring back to my boiler analogy. It feels like the boiler kicked in. The water's just gone, bash, and it's hitting me now. The temperature's of a full pelt. I've got a bit of steam in the room now, and yeah, I'm having a good maiden. But
shower.
the metal, the molten metal, is just hitting me now, and I'm like the T2 at the end of in the power plant, and I'm just melting away. But this has got weird.
You've made it weird.
But that's just it. It just feels like the boiler's kicked in now, and it's like, yeah, right, we got pressure, and this is a much more varied album as well.
I mean, there is different tempos
There's
and
lots
different
of things going on,
different styles. But
one thing worth noting as well, this is also the longest album so far by Maiden.
I was just fucking thinking that because obviously it's taking advantage of CDs, isn't it?
Yes, and again, and this is what they all say about X Factor. Oh, it was too long because they had CDs. They had to put too much music on, and Well, you didn't complain with this album. I never heard anyone say Fear of the Dark was shit because it was too long.
Yeah, no, it's bollocks, total bollocks. You know, but no, you know.
Mind you, X Factor is 10 minutes longer. I've just looked it up. This is 58 minutes. X Factor's an hour and 11 minutes. So they literally, they must have. That was right up to the end.
No,
they couldn't fit another second of music on there.
But,
they wanted to give you such value for money on the X Factor. They even went at the end just to fill that little bit up. That was why that was put on the end. So anyway, I'm going to stop interrupting you.
Album, what's going on? So yeah, no, you know, another solid entry, and again, track 5 brings us something different.
Completely different, yeah.
Another Steve at Childhood's End, you know, and I actually fucking love this song. I love the lyrics. I think they're amazing. And music as well. Music's great. But you've got the keyboards, not the keyboards. Well, there is keyboards there, but the guitar intro type bit. And then Nico comes in with the tom-tom fills. And it's quite a weird. I've never heard Maiden do anything like this before.
Or since. Well, I think they've added elements of this song into different song things. A flat out song like this.
The first line is one of my favourite Maiden lines ever. I'd sail across the ocean, I'd walk 100 miles if I could make it to the end just to see you smile. You know, it's a fucking brilliant line. And this song brings me back to what I was saying on the last album. Perhaps this is around the time that Harris's life started to fall to shit. Because he's talking about this, he's worrying about the world, he's obviously missing someone. I don't know if his old man had died around this time. Because obviously Blood Brothers is about his old man, isn't it? You know?
Is it? I didn't realise that.
Well, not about his old man as such, but there's lines about his old man in there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But there was definitely a change in outlook with Steve. And I think, like I said, I alluded on the last one that I imagine behind the scenes with the marriage, shit weren't happening. Because he's looking at stuff through a whole different lens now. You know, worrying about the world and all the rest of it.
Funny enough, because you mentioned on the last album, the No Prayer for the Dying, it's like, right, we know he goes through a divorce. Is this the early sign of something not quite right? Because it's not like Steve. He writes Phantom of the Opera and The Assassin.
You know, he's writing about stuff he loves, fantasy stuff, you know, but this is really...
And it's like, this is a bit introspective and and I was thinking, mate, it wasn't until I was like, I'm going to have to look this up. Because I was like, because you put that thought in my head, and I thought, is Wasting Love about that? But we haven't looked into it. That's a Dickinson song.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like a same sort of thing going on. But yeah, this is a fantastic song. Like I say, we even before we started this show, we sent each other a list, didn't we, of what was it, top 10 or whatever it was, most underrated. And, well, I don't know about you, but shame on me because I didn't include this. I completely forgot about it.
No, I didn't forget about it, but I've always loved it. Lyrics, the music, everything about it. I mean, even, like talking about the fucking, you know, the chorus, it's dark. No hope, no life, just pain. You know, fucking hell, mate.
Yeah, but...
he needed a cuddle, man. I mean...
But yeah, the music as well. You've got that, obviously that Maiden... melody is running through it, but it's got that sort of Celtic feel to it. It's got that even like a bit of a haunting.
That bit over the tone fields, like you say, it's Celtic. I've never thought of it.
It's not even drumming, is it? It's just a just a beat, like a rolling sort of
it is, yes,
tribal
just
beat.
feel,
And it makes you think of like somewhere in Ireland outside, or some in the Highlands of Scotland, or even down here on the coast somewhere a bit open where you're looking out on the ocean. It just makes you feel of like somewhere out in the open, winds hitting you.
Yeah,
it's got that feel to it, hasn't it? It's
yeah, it has, yeah,
and it has got that sort of wonderful sort of wintry feel of a British sort of folk tale being told to the music as well. And yeah, it just stands out. It's like they've never done anything like this before.
No, it shows, talking about Harris, you was caning him last album for writing The Assassin, the lyrics and all the rest of it. But then he'll churn
Better watch out.
But then he'll churn out, like you say, he'll churn out lyrics like this.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing.
Fantastic. And, that's why we love him. Because he's capable.
I just see them making a video of that with each member going like and then it cuts to Bruce, because I'm the... And it cuts to another one. Better watch out. But The Assassin, again, there's like I said, with From Here to Eternity, I think The Fugitive, that was like an improved version of Holy Smoke.
Oh yeah,
The Fugitive is like on The Assassin on steroids. It's like a second attempt. That's how it feels like when my boy gives me his own work and I go, right, that's wrong, correct that. Yeah, you missed that bit up there as well. Do that bit neater. Right. Do it again with all that, and then you're done. And then I'll send him off to do his own work again, and he comes back and it's neater and it's all correct. That's how this album feels. Try it again. Boom. And then they came back and gave me Through the Dark.
Whatever. So, yeah, Childhood's End, yeah, we're both in agreement on this one.
Yeah, solid gold. Absolutely.
Underrated brilliance. Track 6, Wasting Love. In my opinion, another fucking fantastic tune. And it written by Dickinson and Jers, as we said. It's got a Tattoo Millionaire vibe to it. Could have been
apparently this was written during the Tattoo Millionaire session. So whether it's finished or not, I don't know. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I would say White didn't make the album. Fuck knows. But unless Harris heard it and he was like, "No, we're having that one and all."
Maybe it weren't finished.
But no, fantastic sort of power ballad for Maiden. I mean, acoustic guitars, fucking, brilliant. And they played it live as well on the tour. Had the old acoustics out. It was quite mad, lighters in the air and all that. But I love this. Fantastic playing in it as well. The solo section's insane.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the video as well. It's like they were blatantly going for the ballad.
Oh, they were, yeah.
Weren't they? There's another song as well in there, which is like, were they trying to get a hit with this one? Was this meant to be a rape? But they never released it as a single, so they didn't.
No,
but
I think they did in America.
No, not this song. I mean another song later on, which I think it sounds like a radio rock song. But yeah, everyone knew you had the hit, you had the fast track, the rocker, and then you followed it up with the ballad.
Yeah.
And I know Maiden have always done their own thing, but certain things do rub off on you, and this is a stab at a ballad. And
yeah, no, it is big time.
And it's pretty cool lyrics, though. I think it's. I mean, I don't know how you read it, but I kind of read it as a bit like Tattooed Millionaire, where he touches on it. But I think it's the one night stand culture.
Yeah, I would say so. It sort of starts off, doesn't it? Maybe he's cheated on his wife, whatever, girlfriend. Maybe one day
I'll be an honest man and all that. Maybe you're on the road and what happens on tour stays on tour. I don't know, but it kind of sets to me as this whole one night stand culture, shall we say? Like men and women, it's all bad as each other. It's not. It's all well and good and fun, but it's not very fulfilling. And I think it can be. It leads to problems later on. It gets you a bit depressed and a bit like, yeah, all well and good, but I need some contact here. I need some intimacy.
Yeah, no, I can read that.
Not intimacy in more ways than one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
And that I kind of get that. Is
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I see you tracking on that.
Everyone, I think it's basically everyone's shagging, but no one's making love. I think that's the name of this. That's what
Yeah.
the basically messages of this song.
But no, another one like
I'll read it anyway.
another song that deserves to be played more.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
I'll be happy if this got pulled out of the hat one night.
good way to open an encore. I mean, I know they opened the Dance of Death encore with the Journeyman. This is a similar sort of thing. You get the old stalls out, the acoustic guitars. You fucking, be a good way to do it.
Right. Fuck it, I'm going to go into it. Two things Maiden have never done. They've never done an acoustic gig.
No.
And they've never done a gig with an orchestra.
Well, Nico wants to do the orchestra more than anyone in the fucking world.
The acoustic I can live without.
No, man. I'll tell you.
It'd be good, but I'm not desperate for it.
The Metallica one the other day, that was fucking awe-inspiring.
Oh, they did an acoustic one, did they?
Yeah, they did a live stream because for their All Within My Hands Foundation, with a charity they do.
Oh, yeah.
And that was fucking well good. The way they rearranged the songs and that, fucking brilliant.
Interesting. Okay.
Really, really good. It's on YouTube. Some tosser ripped it on YouTube. It's worth a watch.
Before they do something like Unforgiven or whatever there's like something with an acoustic guitar in it, James Hetfield always gets the guitar out and gives it.
Yeah.
Starts
that,
does like this old Spanish guitar thing. He's an underrated guitar player for as successful as he is. No one ever says, James Hetfield's the best guitar player.
In my opinion, he's one of the top 5 in the fucking world.
Yeah, he's wrote some of the best fucking riffs ever, and
he's amazing guitarist. And the fact he does it all while he's singing as well blows my fucking mind.
Yeah, but Maiden, please do a gig with an orchestra. Everyone does it now. Even fucking Michael Portnoy's new band, what are they called? Sons of Apollo. They did a live album with an orchestra after one album.
That's it. Well,
I mean, granted, that's going to be one long fucking tour.
Yeah.
But maybe if they did the Royal Albert Hall.
Well, I mean,
2 weeks running or something like that.
The Water Bridge at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah.
They didn't do it anywhere else in the world. They were like, right, we're doing two gigs with an orchestra. We're doing them in London. We're doing them at the Royal Albert Hall. 2 and done.
And you know why that was? Because Deep Purple did the live album, didn't they? That was the first thing they did with Ian Gillan. That was before Deep Purple in Rock. It was I can't remember what the album's called now. It escapes me. But yeah, it was Deep Purple with an orchestra. They were the first to do it, and that was a live album before. Yeah, one before Deep Purple in Rock.
Yeah,
where they're all on Mount Rushmore. But yeah, oh god, it'd be fucking amazing, and everyone does it. Granted, not everyone really pulls it off, but
as we just mentioned Metallica, they smashed it. S&M 2 was phenomenal.
Is that good? I've not got around to that yet. I know S&M 1 had mixed results. Some songs worked better than others, but
but number 2 was phenomenal. And they do anesthesia, pulling teeth. The bass, they get a guy on a stand-up bass, does it, and then Lars comes in. Fucking hell, amazing! But no, check it out, man. But yes,
I'll have to.
I'm 100% Maiden need to do it because Empire of the Clouds all the fucking way.
Oh, fucking hell, can you imagine?
Let's have it. Nico's already said.
Imagine fucking doing Sign of the Cross with an orchestra. Oh, mate, fucking hell.
Scary, wasn't it?
Yeah,
no, man, there's so many songs.
Why haven't they done it? The only thing I can think of is they'll say that in order to do it, we'd have to go here, there, and everywhere, and it's going to cost a fortune. But don't just do it for a week. Do like I think even Metallica didn't do a tour, did they? They did a couple of shows.
They did San Francisco on the first one. They did San Francisco one night, and they did one night in Germany.
And 2 nights in Paris.
No, they only did Germany.
I'm sure they did a night in Paris.
No, I'm aware it was only Germany. And then
the original one.
Yeah, no, the original one, they only did 2. It was one in San Francisco, one in Germany. And then this latest one, they only did 2 nights because the fucking bots bought all the tickets for the first night and put them up on the internet for £1,000 a throw. So they had to do another night. So the fucking fans could get tickets.
Yeah. They should do it.
No, got to be done.
I imagine just Royal Albert Hall for a week. Well, don't even have to do a week. Do Friday and Saturday for 3 weekends. Fucking fan club members only. even if you did it, well, fan club members would snap it up anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
But I can't see why they haven't done it. I mean,
it'd be something.
Dimmu Borgir did Wacken with it. They headlined Wacken with an orchestra. There was 100 people on the stage, band and orchestra. Yeah, so that was a full orchestra. And you know, like what Dimmu Borgir are like, it's all orchestral in it. It's all done on the keyboard. Well, imagine that with I think they had a choir as well, because you can imagine how that would have been. I don't really like them that much, but the stuff I do like, I really like. You know what I mean? For them. Yeah. But yeah, Rod, sort it out.
Yeah, do it. Anyway,
back.
But yeah, Wasting Love would be awesome for that. So yes, do it.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be a show, actually. What
I would.
We'd have to design the set list for.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, right. So onto the
fugitive. You alluded to it earlier, but the Assassin's more intelligent cousin, the Fugitive, undoubtedly one of Maiden's fucking heaviest songs. Way it comes in, and the toms just fucking slamming.
Yeah.
Proper kicks in like a bitch, and then it goes
Metallica in a way, really. That intro.
Yes. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I can see that. And then sort of gives way to this nice, mellow, moody piece, and it's goes for all the gamut. It's got fast bits, slow bits, heavy bits.
Yeah, it goes. I can't remember if it's this song. It goes a bit off on one in the middle, doesn't it? If I remember rightly. Is it this one?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, there's a bit of a
it kind of just goes off. It goes off on a tangent. It goes into like a little jammy session in the middle.
Yeah, the solo section is extended, but no, I really like it. I've always liked it.
Yeah,
and, but, undoubtedly filler. Let's not fuck about. But
it is filler, but not in a
And
it's a bit of killer filler. I think.
Unfortunately, much of the back half of the album is filler, but this is not usual Maiden filler. These are good songs.
Yeah, they're good songs, and it's stuff that's let's try this out, and what doesn't quite work does get picked up later and tried again. It
does, yes,
and it does,
But again, this is Harris written this on his own, and we're talking about him being more introspective and writing stuff about real stuff. This is him going back to the fantasy stuff, putting himself in the mind of someone. He's done it.
I think I would assume it's based on
The Fugitive, the film.
Obviously. Yeah, well, it was the Harrison Ford film, but it was
TV
also a TV series, wasn't it?
Yeah, the TV series originally, but obviously with the film coming out, the film came out in 92, 93. So he probably would have got wind of it and revisited it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, good solid entry. It's good Maiden filler.
Yeah, it's not a song I'm going to skip to, but not one I'm going to skip either.
That's it. Yeah, if it comes on, you can listen to it, and you're going to enjoy it. Track 8.
Oh, Murray.
Dave Murray. Murray Dickinson composition. They must have caught on. They must have found their niche on No Prayer, because this is like I say, he normally wrote with Steve Harris, but he's met up with his mate Bruce again. Well, and this is quite a heavy one.
Public Enemy number 1 is one of my, if not my favourite song on No Prayer. It's an awesome song, and I think it's hot. It's one thing as well that has shown me is what an underrated writer he is.
Yeah, well,
and not only that, he's kind of underused as well. But then again, that kind of makes his songs.
It does. I mean, you've always mentioned "Still Life" as being one of your favourite songs. Yeah, and he wrote it, or he helped write it. So tells you what you need to know, mate. But no, another, probably the worst song on the album. But that's not to say it's shit, because it's a Dave Murray song.
Yeah,
it ain't shit, but I think the bar has been set too high. Normally, he writes the best song on the album.
It's a very basic song. It's got a pretty good chorus, but the solo on it is very good. It's got a very good solo.
As always, Dave's solo.
As always, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just we're suffering from too high standards at the moment. I think.
And it's Dave looking at the world, going, what the fuck is going on?
And no, this, as much as This is a pretty basic song by Maiden standards, but again, you can imagine it's got a bit of a Thin Lizzy vibe to it, and I can imagine the Almighty would have been proud to have had this in their repertoire.
Yeah, you know, it's got a great line in there. There's a prophet in the gutter in the street, and he says you're damned, and you believe him. I fucking love that line.
Yeah,
you know, but no, it's, you know, a lot of this when they're not being fantastical, they're really worried about what's going on, the state of the world, because you can probably say from this point in time that's when it started falling to shit.
Yeah.
You know, fucking all this shit in the Middle East and all the rest of it. You know, it's undoubtedly affected the world for the last 30 years, and Maiden have cottoned on early because their lyrics were never quite the same after these first two out. After this double punch of No Prayer and Fear of the Dark, there was always a lot of real shit going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can use a Star Wars analogy. One thing that always, when I read it, it just hit me, and it comes back to me time and time again, especially in the times we're in now. The Thrawn, whatever his name is, Thrawn.
Grand Admiral Thrawn, yeah.
Grand Admiral Thrawn. He says you can always tell what a society's like by the art they produce. By the art,
yeah.
And well, you can see the optimism of the times when, you know, we were singing about hope and fantasy, and Dio was singing about dragons and all the rest of it. And this was like the boom of the 80s.
Yeah.
When we came out of that post-war depression, but then there was this. Everything was, well, even more instant now. But you had this. I don't know what to say. We had a lot of stuff at our fingers, but it wasn't being particularly fulfilled, and that was kind of what grunge was covering. As much as the misery and the drugs, it was like, yeah, but something's not clicking with the youth. They're not, you know. And then, well, what's considered music and art in the pop charts today?
Yeah.
Let's not even fucking go there. But
isn't it scary?
You know, even if you can take that with any genre, you know, like if you look at something like hip hop, look at what was coming out in the 80s and 90s with Public Enemy, the Beastie Boys, Run DMC. These were lyrical wordsmiths, and look at the fucking dregs that we have now.
Grime or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the fucking tattooed faces, black eyeballs, multicolored dreadlocks, not even rapping, just mumbling.
Yeah,
you know, and
shit, total shit.
Yeah, so
it's not fuck about.
And let's think, and again, you can look at art, look at fucking Sistine Chapel, and then look at what's in the Tate Modern.
That's it. Yeah.
Someone's wiped their ass and stuck it on a wall and gone, oh, look, it's capitalism. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Fuck off. No time for it. Anyway, let's get back to Maiden.
So that's my chain of misery.
Chain of misery. So. Yeah. No, nice. Track 9. You talking about stuff? They're trying different stuff. The Apparition.
This is an odd one.
This is the first combination between Steve and Yannick. And it's basically one long fucking verse. There's no chorus. It's basically, I think if you went through Maiden's catalogue, this has got the most amount of words per fucking second. Because the song's only like 3 minutes 50. Yeah, there's like 1 billion words in it.
Yeah, funny enough.
It was funny. I fucking learned.
When you go through the lyric book, look, so you got like 2 songs.
Yeah.
So this is Children's Ends and Wasting Love.
Yeah.
And then like Fugitive.
The whole fucking thing.
The Apparition.
Yeah. And it's one of the shortest songs on the album.
Yeah.
But it's basically I love the lyrics to it. They're quite hopeful actually, if you read through them. Just about, you know, getting the best out of life and all the rest of it. I think again, it makes me wonder, did his old man die around this time? And this is written from the perspective of someone who's just found out they've got terminal illness or something. Because they're basically almost passing on like some life advice, is the way I read it.
It wasn't really that much of a time gap either between Fear of the Dark. Because you could have like, oh yeah, the Bruce admits it, you know, Well, mind you, 3 years.
It's the first 3-year period, wasn't it? But obviously, a year of that was taken up getting a singer in.
No. Well, but Blaze had a motorbike accident and shattered his knee.
Oh, he did, yes.
Yeah, and that put a halt on the proceedings as well.
Yeah.
And they also, and there's a bit of thingy. Did that affect his singing voice being out of action for a while? Because there was always that. Do you know what? We'll hold that thought. We'll get into that next factor.
We'll talk about that, when we get there.
But yeah.
But no, to me, this is a guy he's written it from the perspective of someone who's just had a terminal diagnosis, and they're really just he's getting his thoughts on life out on paper, sort of thing, or telling it to his son or his grandson or something like that. You know, that's why I read it, and he's just, I love him. I love the words in this.
Yeah, I've never actually sat and read them, to be honest.
Yeah, it does, and it's there's some good shit in there. You know, basically, does this exist? Is this right? What's this? If you do this, you'll get this. You know, work hard, try hard. You know, and the apparition is him basically saying at the end, hopefully he'll come back and see all his friends again and all the rest of it. You know.
Well, the apparition, it's a ghost, isn't it? So yeah, maybe it's a case of someone saying goodbye as a, it's a. Something like that,
wondering, you know, they're talking about his life after death and all the rest of it. You know, it is another really introspective number, you know, and something was definitely going on with Steve. I've said it before, I'll say it again.
Well, when we get him on the show,
yeah.
We'll ask him.
Yeah.
But, can you imagine? Oh, fucking hell. Imagine interviewing Steve Harris.
Quality, wasn't it? What's your take on this song anyway? I mean, because I've gushed about it for about a minute now, 2 minutes.
I think it's a pretty, again, quite upbeat in that kind of dark 90s rock way. I never really looked at the lyrics, to be honest. I've got nothing really to add on that. Apart from that, I just think it's a bit of a midway track, really. I'll probably listen to it again. Do you know what pisses me off with this show? Is that I listened to it in prepare for the thing, but then the day after we record, the song, like the album's really sticking me head.
Yeah.
It's like we always do it slightly too early. I was singing Diano songs for about a week after that show. Fucking hell. Waking up in the morning going, I hear you call.
No, purge that shit from my brain.
And I was still singing that fall to your knees today.
Yeah.
And that bam, bam, that was still stuck in my head. Even listened to this a few times. It's a cool song. Again, I've been enjoying listening to this album all week, and
check it out.
Nothing's particularly stood out as bad. Any song that doesn't really stand out, I can still. No song really outstays its welcome. Really, I mean,
there's no Quest for Fires on here, mate.
No. I mean, obviously you got your Afraid to Shoot Strangers and Fear of the Dark, but the rest is average. You're looking at about three, just under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and because it's quite a varied album as well, anything that's lots of different things are tried out, and then we just move on quickly. So you're not really getting time to dwell on anything. Yeah. And if anything's not quite working, it doesn't really matter because we move on quick enough anyway. So that's my. Yeah, I'll have to read the lyrics and I'll get back to that.
I love them. I really do like the lyrics. And I can actually, I listen to the song so many times, I know the lyrics.
Yeah.
And there's a fucking, you know. But no, good song for me.
Well, I'll take the lead on this one. Do you know what? There's 2 things I'd like to see in my life. One day I will, I'd love to see Steve Harris's archive. I'd go, look, here's a check. I'll sign a copyright. I'll never repeat anything I see.
Yeah.
Give me 3 concerts. Can I just pick 3 and watch them? Yeah. And then I'll go and you'll never hear from me again. And the bass is hanging up on the wall. I'm just going to go, boom, and then run.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I'd love to see Dave Murray's record collection because I think he's into some heavy stuff. I think he's got some. Because he's quiet, Dave. Don't give a lot away, does he?
That's it. Very softly spoken and
Very
like
softly
say,
spoken, and everything he just sort of gives like a funny anecdote, but it doesn't really add much to it. It's a bit like
he's forever smiling as well, isn't he? On stage, he fucking looks like he's having the time of his life.
Like, back in those days, you got paid for playing a gig with a can of Coke and a Mars bar, and that's about it. That's what he gets. But the stuff he writes is always like really good rocking stuff, and I just think, you know, he's I just think he just strikes me is he'd have a right fucking good record collection.
Yeah.
And this song makes me think that because this is a fucking awesome song.
That's brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
This should have been a single.
Yeah.
And shame on all of you, my Iron Maiden. This song's never been played live.
Joke, isn't it?
You wankers. even with Blaze, but this would have fucking suited Blaze down to the ground. Because that was the only thing with the Blaze era. We'll get into it later, but I just wish they could have done a few more rockers with him. That's all. Yeah. But we'll get into that.
But no, this is a fucking Dave Murray special, mate.
This is a tune. This is an awesome song, and this should have been much. This should be a much more known Maiden song.
Yeah, try.
And it's vintage Dickinson as well. Dickinson's vocals on this are awesome. The solos to die for.
Oh,
I mean, I'll put this up there with 2 minutes to midnight. Yes, I'm going there.
Yeah, going. Yeah. No, mate. I'm fucking. You sing it in the choir because I've always loved this song. Like I say, amazing lead playing, and it's weird because you talk about prime Dickinson with his vocals. Yes, they are. But these last two albums have shown a different side to Bruce. Obviously, he's almost snarling on some of the songs, isn't he? Where it's a lower register, a bit more mean and moody. But this is kick back to old school Maiden.
Actually, I'm going to give you a bit of a segue. Listening to that podcast that I mentioned earlier, and a couple of Ralph's reviews as well, plus the about three. Three main books, I think. For someone that is known as one of the best metal vocalists in the world, to the fact that point where he's fucking irreplaceable, where poor Blaze got handed a poison chalice, let's face it, they don't half cunt him off. He don't half get ragged on for his vocals on these early albums, and it's kind of confused me a little bit because it's like, well, pick a lane, lads.
That's it, yeah.
Because this was the irreplaceable Bruce Dickinson that when he came back to the band, it was like a missing part of the sun was replaced and everything reignited and the world started turning again. So it's like, well, but his vocals get slammed quite a lot. You'd be surprised.
Especially on No Prayer and Fear of the Dark. They always talk about he's almost spitting the words out, not singing them. But he's singing to suit the lower, the more mean.
These are darker, rockier, heavier songs.
Oh yeah, he's changed his voice on purpose. It ain't because he can't fucking sing no more.
Yeah,
it's because the music that coming out needs a register.
Yeah, they do say, a lot of people do say the World Slavery Tour sort of burnt his vocals out and he never quite recovered from it. But
it melted him, didn't it? Because he wrote an acoustic album for Summer in Time, didn't he? He wanted a fucking. He had enough.
Yeah.
But writing. And I think Yannick has a lot to do with it. Yannick's writing mean and moody shit. And that's probably why they didn't go for a singer from the Halloween style when they picked when they looking for a vocalist. They went for someone with a bit lower register because that's where they were going at the time.
Yeah.
It was a conscious decision. It weren't, fucking hell. They did it on purpose. Nothing.
No, they said they said we wanted someone who wasn't going to be a Bruce clone. Yeah. We wanted,
nothing Steve and Rod do is by accident. It's not just fuck that. Oh, that happened. No, it's a fucking planned.
Yeah.
This is planned, and they need to plan to play this song more because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, I think that would be a good. We'll have to do a bit of a fantasy fantasy football, fantasy set list. Yeah, we'll have to do a couple. We'll do one with if you're going to do it with an orchestra. What would you do? An underrated songs. Maybe a set list of only songs they've never played. I think that'd be a good one. Like you can't do Iron Maiden, can't do Number of the Beast. You've got to do stuff that's.
And pick the set list that they would play at their final ever show.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah, that'd be like a 4-hour set, I think.
I would, yeah.
What else? Oh yeah, and I think that would be my one. I want to do a live set of just Dave Murray songs.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And everyone would be surprised how good that set is.
Yeah, no, it'd be fucking awesome, yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting near the end. God, bloody hell! This is. I think No Prayer for the Dying's the longest one actually.
Yeah, hour and a half it was. Yeah, we're going to beat it, I think.
Right. So
next track,
Weekend Warrior.
And I don't understand why. Whenever you read it, I'm like, oh fucking hell, was that song? I think it's a great song. All right, lyrics. The lyrics they mean something to Steve. Steve nearly made it as a professional footballer. So this means something. It's personal to him. And it's another Yannick collaboration. Acoustic guitars. It's a bit of a weird one for Maiden. They've never done anything like it again.
Is straight off of Tattooed Millionaire.
Oh, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's I actually like the melody in the middle. I think it's brilliant. It's such a brilliant bit of music.
The little bit at the beginning. Yes,
the acoustic bit. Yeah.
And then it's just a nice dun, 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 and then it goes back into the quiet bit again. It brings along that grey day on a football pitch.
Yeah. And you saying that it's very similar to Final Frontier in that rhythm section.
Yeah.
It's almost like they rewrote this for Final Frontier with the rhythm, the stop-starting guitar, and the kick drums following the guitar.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think Weekend Warriors obviously it's about football and
football hooliganism. Let's be honest, it's that's what it's about. It's about hooligans. You're just a weekend warrior. You go back to your job during the week, but weekend you act all this hard nut and.
But this.
It's all bravado when you're out of your mates and all that. It's one of the lines, isn't it? It's different person through those gates, but yeah,
The it does. Do you remember when I was saying the recent? I can't remember what episode it was. Like pub rock. This does remind me of a song you would hear in a pub at the weekend, and that mellow bit kind of brings like a dull, overcast day. On a football pitch, it doesn't have to be in a stadium. It could be a five-a-side thing. And those five-a-side matches can be just as fucking rowdy as anything like in a.
That's it.
But
this is definitely veering into the hard rock territory, isn't it? It's
this wouldn't sound out of place on, especially the later ones on an AC/DC album.
Yes, no, mate, you're right there, yeah.
And like just playing your head down, 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 down. With that vocal melody, you could easily hear Brian Johnson singing that.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, that's a good spot.
Yeah, I think, and again, this album is full of songs that are it's them trying different things, and it's not experimental. I hate that word.
Yeah, no, it's just
because experimental just means you're fucking about. That's what experimental really means. Because if it works, it'd be good. If it doesn't, it's kind of like when they go, yeah, it was a bit of an experimental that album. So it's like when a joke doesn't quite land.
Yeah.
You go, you had to be there. That's Dara O'Brien, isn't it? And then Figgy, he downed a pint and put it on his head and then started running around with his jumper over his face. And you had to be there.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, shit. Yeah, it was experimental. And so they're not experimenting. They're trying different things, but it's all slightly different enough to stand out. So a song like Weekend Warrior or Childhood's End.
Arno-esque, where you're like, what the fuck? How does this coming after this? There's not different styles on the album. It
still feels like Maiden, and
it does.
It still has that thread. Even as much as different as Childhood's End is.
Yeah.
you've still got that Maiden melody running through it.
Yes.
You know.
You have. And,
So
you got an extremely well played solo as well. Yannick tearing it up.
Yeah. I've got a new. It's quite an emotional solo as well. Actually, it's quite melodic.
Yeah.
And I've got a newfound respect for Yannick. Not that I ever had anything against him, but I do appreciate him a lot more.
Yeah, people give him shit for his style of playing, but he's got to bring something different to the table with Maiden. He had to be different to Adrian, but he couldn't be too like Dave. He had to be himself. And especially when Adrian came back, he had to fucking almost reinvent himself again, because Adrian brings something totally unique to the pile. So Yannick almost had to reinvent himself again. And I feel sorry for the geezer, because he's a fantastic songwriter. He's a supreme player. And he always comes across as just a fucking lovely guy.
I feel sorry for him one bit. He's a bastard.
Well, because he's in Maiden. Yeah.
Well, how do you feel sorry for fucking... Oh, you're the one in Maiden that gets the stick, but you're still fucking in them. You're still getting earning a fortune. And...
Typical fucking Maiden Gumby's just giving him grief, and it's like, do one.
Like I said in the previous show, mate, he's earning a good wage being in Maiden, so he is on Maiden's book. He is costing the band money. They wouldn't be spending the money on him for nothing. He serves a purpose. That's all there is to it.
Right, we're there.
Arguably
the greatest heavy metal one of the greatest heavy metal songs of all time. Written on an album that is supposedly shit at a time when the band was supposedly on their way out as a spent force. What the fuck do people know?
It's funny because on paper the song shouldn't work, but it does. Yeah.
Mate, it is one of them where, I mean, we talked about it earlier. They've only ever dropped it since they wrote it nearly 30 years ago. It's only ever not been played in one set, and that was a specific set where they only played stuff from the first 4 albums. Every other gig since, it's played at the end of the normal set just before Iron Maiden. It's never moved. It's always been there. Always been in that spot.
Is it always?
I think so, yeah.
Not been in an encore or something like that. I'm not disputing it, but yeah, it's always around that point of the show anyway. It's always in the last quarter, yeah. It's
got to that point where even if you don't know the set list, you know what song is coming because Nico counts it in such a way. You know it's coming before it even kicks in.
Yeah.
And on the album, it's fantastic. The way it starts and then the beautiful haunting melody that kicks in when Bruce sings I'm a Man Who Walks Alone. You know, all that brilliant fucking guitar playing and all that lovely music. And then it kicks in. And it kicks in such a way that you're like, fucking hell, I feel alive. But that's on the album. When you fucking hear it live, mate, when the beautiful melody comes in and you got 30,000 people singing along to that melody, fucking hell, the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up just remembering it.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate fucking tune and one of Maiden's top 5.
Are you burnt out on it?
No. Never will be.
No? Okay.
I'm burnt out. I'm numbered. You know, if I never heard Number of the Beast again, I'd be happy. If I never heard The Hills again, I'd be happy. The Trooper, I could do without that. But this and Hallowed, if they're not played in a Maiden set, I'm gutted. I was gutted during Book of Souls tour when that cunt took them to court because they had to drop it. And they replaced it with Rothschild. No, I like Rothschild, but it's not.
I think they bought it. I think they summed it up and said, well, how much is this going to cost to fight this? And it was basically cheaper to fucking just offer him a sum and just go, take that and fuck off.
Yeah, but, this song for me is...
I think they shouldn't have done it, though. I think they should have fought it.
Yeah.
That's just me. I think it was a case of...
Yeah, just make it go away.
For the sake of this, just pay it. But in a way, they kind of admitted it. And
hear it. If you listen to the song, you can hear it. But I couldn't give a shit about that because it's like your song.
The guitar's got 6 strings.
You know,
12, so many chords, and so many, fucking.
But no, I mean this song is top 5 Maiden and top 10 heavy metal songs of all time. and I cannot get enough of it. Cannot get enough of it.
Yeah. I admit I did feel a little burnout with this song actually. But with that being said, listening to it properly for this review, you kind of concentrated on it because you can sing Fear of the Dark in your sleep if you're a Maiden fan.
Now, when you've got the headphones on and you actually listen to the studio version.
And I am just like, no, listen to it, and it is a fantastic song, and I do prefer the live version. Must be said.
Yeah, I mean, it's everyone does, don't they? But this,
you could argue
about it.
I think the Donington version is the. But to be honest, that was the first version I heard because the first thing I bought was Best of the Beast, and that's the version that's on Best of the Beast. So I suppose the first version of any song you hear is generally the one you prefer. And of course, you've got the crowd singing along with it and that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a song about being scared of the dark by a heavy metal band. Oh, that's simple can it be? But it fucking works. It's a great song and it tells a story. And it sells, we've all done it. We've all come into the house on our own.
Yeah.
And got a bit. Have you ever tried, feeling a bit of a fucking odd feeling and you quickly searching for a light?
Yeah.
Done it. We've all done it,
Do it every night when I go to bed. It's still still sit there sometimes, head under the covers because you're wondering, what's out there. No, Steve Harris fucking hit the nail on the head with it,
What was it? Stephen King, in the introduction to one of his books I remember him reading, he went, I'm the master of horror, so they say.
Yeah.
I never ever sleep with my toes outside of the bed covers.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, no, I don't.
It's like, if my feet are out, whatever's there is going to get me. So I have to put my feet in. If there's a monster there, it's going to get the fucking rip the covers off. But if I'm under the covers, I'm safe.
Exactly. Yeah, you're safe. Yeah.
It's the psychology of it all is.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's an anthem, and it as soon as that.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
And then just that. It's that little split second, isn't it?
Yeah, because Yannick does something quite unique. He does with his with the pit. Obviously, I'm not a guitar man, but he
don't do it. Yeah, you don't get it in the studio version, but I know what you're saying live. He just does that ring, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he points up because it goes high. But if you listen to the live albums, the live versions as they've gone on, the song is adapted. Yes, it has. Yes, it's sort of grown a new life, sort of thing. It's quite mad how it's taken on a whole new life.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I was getting at with the when I said the Donington version, because it's like I'm not going to say that's the definitive version because it's.
No, it's not.
It's fucking hell. I've got about 20 versions of it live. I think.
Yeah, it was a brand new song then.
Yeah, but
I would always listen to the Dance of Death, the Death on the Road version, or the Rock in Rio version, or even the later ones.
Heard Legacy, Knights of the Dead, or whatever it's called, Legacy of the Beast, Knights of the Dead. Have you heard it yet? Have you got it?
I haven't. No, funnily enough.
Well, if you're a good boy, I'm sure Santa will bring it for you.
Oh no, yeah.
When he empties his sack all over your living room.
Spotify, mate. I'm still gutted they didn't release it as a video.
Yeah, but they didn't do Book of Souls as a video either, did they?
No, they YouTube stream. They actually broadcast it live, or not live, but they premiered it live, and everyone tuned in. But if ever there was a gig that had to be seen, it was Legacy of the Beast.
Yeah, I said I did a unboxing video, and DVDs don't sell bollocks today. You're telling me, and I got the pack. Like it's the A4, well, not A4, but what I mean. It's in a book. I was like, look, you're telling me an extra disc there.
Yeah.
People wouldn't have sold it. You had to put out an apology because you couldn't get them out quick enough.
Yeah.
Of course, the DVD would have sold. What are you on about? And not only that, I'm going to keep saying this. There's two things I'm putting out there because you can all thank me when John Bush does that tour doing Anthrax songs. But two things. I think Kerry King should hire Rob Dukes for his new band. And I think Harry Harris should do a Maiden Flicks. I think it should be for the fan club members only. You should,
subscription, any gift you want.
Subscription, Maiden Tube. So just like the Maiden YouTube channel, this show, that show, this should new show up every month, and just let it build up, and for including in the price with the fan club membership, that should be like a streaming service, and I think it'd be wonderful. And that solves the DVD issue as well.
No, I'll be all over that.
Yeah. Well, it'd be good now because you can't leave the house anyway. But
that's it, yeah. but no, mate. So no, I mean, I think we've spoken all we need to speak on that one, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Phenomenal, and for me, this album, it's an underrated album. It gets shit, you know.
Yes.
It gets cut, and for no fucking reason, because it's long, but it ain't that long, and there's some great stuff on there. And like I say, it holds special sentimental value for me. The first CD I ever bought in the old Discman, I was reading along the booklet while I was listening to it, and it was amazing. A special time in my life.
Yeah, you never get those days back, and you only do that. Yeah,
it's weird because it was the end of one of the worst periods of my life, but it was the building block for me to build with my heavy metal journey, and it's all because of my old man that I could do that. So although it was born out of him passing on, if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have started that journey. And this album will always hold a special place in my heart, and I will fight anyone to the death who says anything other than, it's a great album. And for me, it's looking back on the album, looking at it with my head instead of my heart, you probably say it's a 7. There's probably a couple of songs, 6 or 7 probably. There's probably a couple of songs on there, a bit too long, probably a couple they could have even chopped. But my heart's going to review the album, and it's going to give it 10 out of 10. It's the perfect artwork. It's a great batch of songs, and it starts and ends with 2 of the greatest Maiden songs ever committed to vinyl, CD, MP3, whatever. In Be Quick or Be Dead and Fear of the Dark. And I love it. Love it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to beat that, mate. I'd give it a good 8 out of 10. I do think it's underrated. I think the real underrated Maiden stuff is always the Blaze Bayley era. Which we'll get to. Yeah, okay. Look, a lot of albums from this time suffer from being a little bit overlong. They had 40 minutes. The whole music industry had 40 minutes. 20 minutes each side. All of a sudden, boom, you can have an hour and a half if you want.
That's it.
And a lot of albums, people tried to fill up a CD and it didn't always work. But in all fairness, don't knock it, because the music industry never fucking did it before, and they never did it again. They tried giving their customers value for money. They went, well, if we've got that, let's fill it up and give people
that's right
for their buck. So, if it means, but yeah, and okay, I suppose it could lose 2 songs off it. Don't know which ones. None of them are bad enough to think, but I'm just saying, if you're going to play the too long card, maybe you could probably lose 1 or 2 songs.
Yeah, so it'd be a struggle to
whatever. And like I say, I think it's got some, again, 2 of their greatest songs on it. Well, I think there's a bit more than that. I'd say looking now, I could picture 4.
Yeah,
but there is some very underrated songs on there. There's a lot of variation, a lot of them trying out different things. And I think this was the album that I could hear but wasn't quite getting with No Prayer. And this is a massive improvement on that album.
Oh, it's definitely a culminator, like a next logical step on.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. It's like this is a marking of a 2 album mini era in the. Yeah. This is the Timothy Dalton era of the Iron Maiden,
and that was always underrated as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Fear of the Dark, ladies and gents, and thank you very much for watching.
Indeed,
as always, and we'll see you again next Friday. Next Friday, we're going to catch up with our mate Paul.
Yes, Killers.
And, see what he's up to. He's.
I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, with. It's not like it's split up. I think Battlezone kind of evolved into Killers.
Moved into Killers.
We'll talk about that when we come to it. But yeah, next week we've got Killers with Murder 1. So tune in for that one. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Take care. Stay safe, everyone. Drink some good beer. Lift some weights. and listen to metal. And of course,
Indeed.
listen to Maiden.